Well, greetings everyone, and welcome back to our Standing Watch program. What is the real news behind what is going on in Europe with the Eurozone situation, the Euro, and of course the situation in Greece? And how is it going to affect the United States of America? Many have been reporting about the terrible demise of Europe, and they have said that Europe will fall apart, and that the Eurozone will fall apart, and that the Euro will fail, and that it's going to affect negatively the United States of America. But my friends, none of that is in accordance with what is really happening. And let me just tell you, if you believe any of it, you are believing false messages. Because the truth is quite differently to be seen, and interesting developments are taking place because of this crisis over there in Europe. But in a way, quite differently from what most commentators and observers are trying to tell you. Let me read to you first of all from an article which was published by Deutsche Welle on May 15. And this is what it says. Despite the tough times, EU leaders are staying the course. And then the Associated Press wrote on May 19, Europe is showing a newfound resolve to strengthen its regulatory grip. Europe needs a new culture of stability, Merkel said. Germany advocates lasting stability in Europe. We are not going to spare anyone in Europe from that, she said. The interesting thing, my friends, is that Europe is coming together rather than falling apart because of this crisis. And the interesting thing is also that Germany is taking the lead. Now, many don't like that, but Germany is taking the lead, something which is remarkable. Notice this article from Der Spiegel Online saying Berlin takes the lead, dated May 19. Berlin means business. Angela Merkel's government has drafted a list of proposals to revamp the European common currency. From suspending voting rights to national bankruptcy proceedings, the plan is far-reaching. Now, some already have rejected that and have said, no, we can't do that because it would require amendments to the Lisbon Treaty. But the point is that Germany is pushing. Germany is the biggest economy in Europe, and Germany, which has been giving most of its money to Greece in comparison to the others. So they have a huge stake in this situation. This article goes on to say Berlin is serious about taking the lead as the Eurozone struggles with a suddenly weak currency. And then an article by the Financial Times dated May 19. Europe's leaders scramble to restore unity in the face of the sovereign debt crisis after Germany. Dismayed allies with an unilateral plan and ban on naked short selling. Now, they just did it unilaterally. Didn't even ask the others whether they agree with it or not, showing how determined now Angela Merkel is to become the Iron Lady of Europe. It goes on to say in Bild Online, the mass German publication over there, this tabloid, that the euro is not in real danger. Now, you might have heard people are saying the euro is in real danger. Now, the Germans are being told over there it's not. This article goes on to say that financial expert Professor Peter Bofinger states that the euro is in a better position than the dollar, the pound, and the yen. The current fall in value is without any consequence. The newly incurred debts in the eurozone are small, comparatively speaking, and core country Germany can borrow money today at lower interest rates than ever before. But you see, it's not just Bild Online which is saying that. Der Spiegel Online, which is kind of a left liberal paper, is saying the same thing. I'm quoting from an article dated May 20. A fall in value for the euro is good for Europe, because currently the declining euro is Europe's most effective tool for generating sufficient economic growth to cover its budget deficits. Europe's south also gains from a lower euro, both directly, it will be a busy tourist season in Greece this summer, and because higher German growth means increased German imports from Greece, Spain, Portugal, and Italy. Poland is saying that they are looking forward to becoming a member of the Eurozone as soon as possible, rather than thinking that the Eurozone is going to fall apart. Nobody in Europe really seriously believes that. Now, the interesting thing is that even the Telegraph, which is of course a paper which has been prophesying that the euro is going to fail and that the Eurozone will fall apart, and of course that they advocate that England should never become part of the Eurozone, even they have to admit something. Let me read to you from an article they wrote on May 9. They said the walls of fiscal and economic sovereignty are being breached. A European state is being created before our eyes. Notice this, a European state. Der Spiegel Online wrote that the events marked the birth of a gigantic European transfer union, where previously unthinkable sums of money are made available to rescue southern Eurozone members. This was an article from May 17. You see, Europe is not falling apart. Europe is becoming the most important and influential and powerful bloc in the world. Not because politicians want it to be, not because the people may want it to be, in fact most people don't, but because the Bible has prophesied that this is going to happen. And it has prophesied that up to 4,000 years ago. And God is seeing to it that it's going to happen, because this is one of the signs which have to be fulfilled in order for Jesus Christ to return to this earth. And people who don't understand prophecy, they come up with all kinds of ideas because they don't understand what the Bible is telling us. And many of the messages you have been hearing, whether they come from politicians, from economic experts, or from religious circles, are telling you wrong things. And some of you have been falling for these wrong concepts because they who tell you these things don't understand what the Bible is teaching. I am telling you right now, Europe is not falling apart. I am telling you right now, the euro is not going to fail. In fact, Europe will become the most influential power bloc in the world, economically, politically, but also militarily. And we also find that when that happens, that this world will end up in a tremendous, all-encompassing war. You see, Europe will be heavily involved in this. And for Europe to fall apart, these events couldn't take place. I'd like to read to you from an article by Reuters, dated May 18, saying that the European Union and Central American states reached an agreement on Tuesday to liberalize trade and cut import tariffs. And they say this is a tremendously important article and agreement which will bring about closer economic relationships. Rather than falling apart, Europe is largely moving ahead as a gigantic power bloc. That is the interesting development coming out of this crisis over there in Europe. But it will end up at odds with America, and that is where the danger lies. Not in the economic situation in Europe, but in the fact that there's going to be an alienation which is going to develop further and further between the United States of America and Europe, although that is prophesied. You have to keep watch, and I encourage you to listen to us, because we are going to tell you the truth. You might not find it anywhere else. Thanks very much for watching. This is Norbert Link for the Standing Watch program.